Deep down, we all want to be expressed. Deep down, we all want to express ourselves, but we just don't know how. We want other people to see more than just the average person they walk across the street. We would like to be seen different. Not in the sense of being an outcast, but more so unique. But because of that uniqueness, we're outcasted. And because of that fear of being outcasted for being unique, we don't express ourselves. I believe that we're so deep in our heads that we sometimes forget to live. That we're just faced with a giant wall. And it's hard for us to overcome that wall. Sometimes we do have an artistic or creative passion that we express on the daily, but over time it slowly fades because we don't get recognized applause. We're not recognizing our efforts. Or simply it's just not fun anymore. Not as enjoyable. And that can eat at us from the inside. Because we're essentially giving a part of ourselves away for something average, for something mediocre. The problem with individuality, or individualism, however you want to put that term, is that we're too isolated. We're too isolated and not given a chance to express ourselves. Thinking that if we go the lone wolf path, monk mode, we accelerate. We go far ahead than the rest of our peers because we're alone, we're more isolated, we're more focused, but that's not quite the case. Being more isolated, being more individuated, you're not really expressing yourself. You're just in solitude. You're just in an empty setting, which is your mind. And I get that there is fear of missing out and all this, but really, that should be the least of our concern. It's not about the fear of missing out, but rather what we do. What about the time spent we use to better express ourselves in isolated settings? Part of the reason why we are so individuated, so isolated because of our individuality is because of the baggage we hold. Now, I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm not a mental health professional or psychologist, but we hold a lot of baggage. So much so that it causes us to be buried deep within our minds. An avalanche of overthinking, doubt, uncertainty. Our minds fill to the brim. And because of our individuality, we turn to either religion, an idea greater than ourselves, a mental health professional, seeking an answer for our existence, for a way out of the clutter within our mind, or simply we remain isolated indoors because it's just too much to bear. Being deep within our minds can be a positive and a negative outlet. It's where the arts are discovered, ideas are manifested, and intellect crystallized into matter. But that is also where morality becomes too shaded. Political opinions begin to split our identity, and FOMO just pressurizes us, thinking we need to do this, we need to do that in order to be somebody, in order to think that we're expressing ourselves through the digital media, through the virtual world. But in all honesty, that's just noise. And sometimes the silence is just a void as well, a gap between where we are and what we have to deal with. We tried so hard to fill the noise, fill the silence with empty meaning, with distraction, because we don't want to face with the realization that our individuality has isolated us. Our sense of community is drifting. But that doesn't mean it's the end or it's a bad thing for our generation. Not at all, not at all. It's something that I've deeply reflected on this past summer. I spent a lot of time with good people, bring me out of the individual bubble within my mind and into social settings. And every time that I come back home after a late night, hang out with a group, this feeling comes over me. A reminder that the silence blocks the overthinking, blocks the doubt, blocks the uncertainty. And then we fill up the void with distraction, with noise, until the next social event calls us out to pull us out. It may not be for everyone. It may not even relate to some of you. But isolation is caused due to our individuality. Thinking that we are individually unique. Thinking that we do not want to be revealed to the whole world. Thinking that we're missing out on the greater parts of our lives because we're stuck inside all day. I'd like to tell you an answer, I'd like to give you one, but there is no blueprint to follow. There is no guide to be given. It's a decision that must be made within the confines of our mind and heart. Times get tough and it feels like there's no way to release all that baggage, but there's always a secret hatch, a missed lever, a system that can be discovered and used to our advantage. Nietzsche said, "Never let life's hardships disturb you. After all, no one can avoid problems, not even saints or sages."